Hey everybody, this is Jessica and I'm here today to introduce you to my InstaGlam Brush Studio if you're not acquainted with it. And basically this is a kit that contains over 100 brushes, dynamic Photoshop brushes. It contains the patterns and it contains some actions, and all of that lets you paint in these really cool glam styles like you see on the displays. And I will just give you a little tour here. When you get your download, you're going to have the actions, you're going to have the brushes, which are not ABR brush, they are .tpl file, that's a brush tool preset, and then you're going to have the patterns. So we're going to mosey into Photoshop here, and we're going to load up our patterns. And let's see here. If you go over, usually I just go over here into the paint bucket tool, and then you can do foreground or pattern. I go into pattern, and then I go over here on the right, top right, and then you can replace your patterns. You can load some patterns, which will add it to your other ones. But I'm just going to hit replace patterns because I want only my files in there. So I'm going to get the patterns and click open, and then we'll see these over here on the left. So we're going to see all the collections, the gold papers, the leopards, the zebras, the snakeskin, and all of that. So that's our patterns loaded. That's done. Now we want to, let's see here, we'll load the brush tool presets, which I have them here. And it's not an ABR file, so if you don't have your tool presets panel showing, you can go up here to window and click on tool presets. Make sure that this isn't selected, the current tool only, because if it is selected, you're not going to see your brushes unless you have the brush tool selected. So I just leave that off by default. And to load the tool presets is just the same as loading all other presets. You go to the top right and we'll go replace tool presets. And actually, did I save a new one? I'll just go replace. Replace tool presets, I'm not going to save those. And then I'll just go in here to my, my file and get my brushes. I'll hit open, and that's going to populate that with, it's over 100 brushes, all different kinds of really cool dynamic brushes. And you might see them here as like just text. There's a small list or a large list, but I just leave them as a small list here. So it makes it really easy to select them. They're labeled calligraphy, confetti, there's gold chain, all kinds of stuff. So now I have my patterns loaded, I have my tool presets loaded, and now I want to load my actions. So I make sure that I see the actions panel. If you don't see it, go here, Windows, and hit Actions. Go to the top right, and we are going to load actions. And we'll just go here, load these actions up, click Open. And we've got different ones. They're just presets, but they're basically the same. It's paint gold glam, paint color glam, paint neutral glam, paint silver glam, paint copper glam. And so if you know that you're going to be doing it in a color, it'll just make it a color to begin with. Or if you know that you're going to be doing it in gold, it'll have that gold selected for you. So the most common one, I'm just going to run my paint gold glam action and push play. And this is going to prepare me my surface, I would say, to work in, or my environment. And what that does is that creates a group here, a layer group with all these different adjustment layers. And at the bottom, there's a red layer that says paint on this layer. And that's where you paint. And so I'm just going to get my stylus here. And I will tell you that most of the brushes, you can just use a mouse, it's fine, and a mouse will work with all of them. But there are some brushes that have a thick to thin appearance in the displays, and if you want to get any kind of brush that has a thick to thin, then you will need a stylus. but I will just grab like one of my favorite here. I think it's the creamy paintbrush, and I'm just going to draw. And there we go. It's like a really cool paintbrush, and you have got it in gold. But if you want to change that, what's cool is that you have the patterns, so you can double click in this pattern layer here and just effortlessly toggle between all these different effects. So it's really fun, really cool. You can't beat it, and it's non-destructive, and you can change your mind anytime. So, and you can even change the scale of the pattern if you like. Put it down to 50%, leave it at 100, whatever. So there's the pattern layer. And so that's it. It just makes it really easy, non-destructive. And now say if you want to change this, and there's two different bases. There's a color base and a gold base. Well, right now it's going to be in gold because I have my gold base selected here. But if I turn this off, then I have a color base. And all I have to do to change the color is double click in that, and I can change my color to whatever I want and change it at any time. It's really easy. I can turn the gold base back on. There's also another adjustment layer over here. It's a desaturation layer. So if you turn that on, it's going to desaturate the gold a little bit, and you can even take it up farther and just have more of a desaturated gold. There's one that has a silver tone, so that's if you want it in silver. There is a bronze and copper sort of tone. And then at the top, there's a brightness and contrast. So in case you want to just play around with that or adjust that at all, you can. And I will just show you a couple other brushes here. There's some fun calligraphy pens in leopard. And I'll bounce over to my Instagram and show you some of them. I have the brush previews there. There's all these cool confettis, some hex sequins. Let's see here. Let me zoom out just a little bit. And what else? There's some bokeh, which is fun. It has the different transparencies. There's flat confetti spray. There's just so many, and they're all dynamic. So that's really fun. And I actually have it kind of zoomed in here. I'm going to zoom out. And one little tip, if your brush is too big, you can always hit the left or the right brackets to zoom in or to make it bigger or smaller. So you've got, there's a gold chain. I use some of these on the illustrations that you see with like the Christmas things. And a lot of these brushes are just really fun. They're made with tool presets, so they're kind of, they have a lot of different fun effects. And I mean, they just look spectacular. I think that the combination of the dynamic brushes combined with the fact that you have all this setup here is just is really fun. Got some magic dust. This is like a Rough Rider. It's a fun paintbrush. There's some tinsel. Can throw down some tinsel. Do a tinsel garland. That's just great for the holidays. So that's some of the brushes. And it's just that easy. So you can change it at any time. And then if you know, you can run these other actions as well, but in the end they're just going to have certain layers pre-selected for you. But even if you run the InstaGlam layer and you want it to be color, it doesn't matter. It's just totally adjustable. And I'll pop over here to my Instagram. There's a link in the top that points you to here, and this is where I put a lot of my inspiration and from all of my different products. So just so you know, it's not all the Brush Studio in here. This is my up top, there's my new Creative Couture collection, which is super awesome. You should check it out. There's my main InstaGlam collection, And then down here you have all the different brushes, and I make like these really fun displays. Let's see here. So it's kind of like a cool way to see the different brushes. So you can just scroll down here, press play, and then see the brushes in action so you can see what you can do. So it's really neat, kind of gives you a good visual. And I have almost, most of the brushes are displayed in here, so it's really fun. And some of these are pretty amazing little brushes, like the pattern brushes. They've got like a leopard pattern built in, which is fun. There's like some glimmer, some shimmer, kind of fairy dust, tinsels. There's like some good foil brushes. So you've got a lot of stuff to choose from. Anyway, well, I'm going to wrap that up for now. And I hope you enjoyed the tour of what you can do with the InstaGlam Brush Studio.